In cinema, everything always begins with an impression. Even before the script takes hold, before the dialogue takes shape, before the music sets a rhythm, color is already there. Silent but decisive, quiet yet authoritative. It seeps into our perception within milliseconds, acts on our senses, builds an atmosphere, guides our emotions, and sometimes tells the story all on its own. We often think of color as merely an aesthetic choice, a filter, a mood, a style. But in reality, it is one of the most powerful narrative technologies in modern cinema. It structures the gaze, shapes the viewer's memory, creates atmospheres, reveals invisible truths, and communicates in the silences what words cannot. How color works, why it works, and how it influences every film we watch without us noticing. Contrary to what one might think, color was not a late invention in cinema history. From the very first Lumiere brothers films, each frame was manually tinted by hand. This painstaking, delicate work resembled miniature painting more than a cinematic technique. Why the immediate need to color these revolutionary images? Because color has always been seen as a way to amplify life. Cinema aimed to reproduce reality, but above all, to elevate it. From its earliest days, it understood that color added an emotional dimension that black and white alone could not convey. When the Technicolor era arrived, from the 1930s to 1950s, commercial color imposed itself with brilliance, saturated, flamboyant, almost theatrical. Yet some filmmakers chose to retain black and white, because black and white removes distractions. It highlights light in the foreground. It creates abstract worlds. It brings cinema closer to photography and dreams. Color was never a replacement, but an expansion, a new language, a new grammar, a new sensory territory. And like any language, it requires codes, syntax, and intention. We constantly read that blue is calming, red evokes anger, yellow represents joy. True, but overly simplistic. Color never functions alone. It operates within context, contrast, and dynamics. Red can signify passion, violence, prohibition, love, madness, danger, warmth, or mystery. It all depends on brightness, saturation, contrast with other shades, its placement in the narrative, in the intention of the scene. Thus, it is not a color that has inherent meaning, but a color situated within a story. When you watch a film, your visual system processes color information before you can consciously think about it. Color acts as a first emotional impact. You may not notice it, but your brain reacts immediately. Cool colors slow perception. Warm colors accelerate attention. Desaturated tones evoke realism, harshness, nostalgia. Saturated tones evoke stylization, hyperreality, childhood, fantasy. Color, therefore, creates an emotional climate that the script alone cannot. Most people think of colors as isolated values, red, blue, green. But in cinema, color has a primarily relational power. Contrast tells the story. A red alone says nothing without a blue facing it. A blue alone has no impact if not confronted with yellow. Directors thus use pairs, oppositions, duos of forces. Some classic contrasts, orange and blue, the most famous combination in modern cinema. Red and green, often used in horror or psychological narratives. Yellow and violet, rarer but visually powerful. Contrast always creates narrative tension. Two colors placed against each other become a dialogue.